So next is a half butterfly. Butterfly? Doesn't make sense, does it? Butterfly. So just bend your left knee and then bring the sole of that left foot into the inside of the right thigh. This is good, you're in a good position. Like I said, if you want to grab a mat and place it underneath your hips a little bit, it could help just rotate that pelvis round. And you could get into that stretch a little bit more. Main areas that we want to feel it, inside the back of the leg, so straight leg, maybe even in here as well. I can certainly feel it in here because I'm quite tight there. Loads of different options. Breathe in, chest tall, long, nice, spine nice and long, and then fold forward, like so. Option number one. Option number two, hand goes up. You see that I'm very inflexible here. Or you can come down like so. Up to you, whatever feels good. But remember, 80%. 80%. I'm just gonna rotate through. This feels good for me. Couple more deep breaths. And then slowly coming out of that, and we'll just swap legs. I'll walk out a bit too light. So again, if you want to shake it off a little bit, you can do that, no dramas whatsoever. So left leg straight now, right foot comes in the sole of the foot into the inside of the left thigh. Now, again, if you want to put your hands back, you feel like that opens up your chest more. Like for example, I'm quite rounded up here. So this feels actually quite good. I can feel like I'm getting into my chest a little bit, but then breathe in, and then fold. You can also get a pillow to rest your head, whatever works. You might find throughout the stretches that a certain stretch works better for you in a certain position, and that's okay. There's not one size fits all. Everybody's different. So I might have to have my toe pointed, for example, or flexed, like so, to get into different areas of the back of the leg. If I'm telling you to flex your toes towards me, then you should feel it in the hamstring or the calf, and you do that and you're feeling it in the quad, so the front here, probably going to look at moving position slightly. Maybe about 4 more deep breaths, just try and relax. One last deep breath, and as you breathe out, relax. And again, if you want to lie down for 5 seconds, 10 seconds before we go into the next stretch, you can just relax and breathe. All right guys, so we're going to do a reclining twist, and again, lots of different options here. So lie down on your back, bring your knees together, okay? Hands are out wide. And just make sure that your hips are down into the ground, your shoulders are into the ground. Now, option number one is just to rotate the knees to the right side. Okay, already I can feel this quite, I'll say aggressively, but quite heavily inside to my glutes and into my lower back. Try not to bring the hips too far over. I want to keep those shoulders down onto the ground, knees around 90 degrees. That's option number one. Option number two is just to straighten out that right leg, so the leg that's underneath, and come over, you can attach and hold if you like. Again, this is a probably, well, it is more aggressive because I'm applying more pressure through the leg, but if this feels good and feels comfortable, crack on. Option number 2, if I keep my knees bent and I just cross my leg over and come down. Option number 2, that was option number 3, wasn't it? I should feel a little bit more. Again, it's just like having an assisted stretch there. Last couple of breaths. And relax. We'll swap sides. We'll do exactly the same, but now on the left side, so hands down, and then we're just coming down to our left. And if this, again, if this works for you, this feels good, stick with it, guys. You need to go, let your ego take over and, oh, well, this, he said this was the hardest one, so I'm gonna do this one. You know, so I'll tell the lads, or the girls. Now, this is a good one for me, but I actually really like the one where I bring my leg over and come across. I feel like that stretch works for me. Last couple of breaths. And just relax. And again, reset pose, whatever works for you. All right, next we're going to do a Sphinx pose. So, a couple of different options here. You're going to come down onto your flat, onto your front. Elbows into the side of your body. And then as you raise your upper body up, you may need to adjust your elbows and keep them roughly underneath your shoulders. Hips down into the ground. Should feel a little bit of compression in that lower back. So what we're trying to do is get a bit of compression to get some relaxation through that lower back. You'll soon understand what I mean once we release. Again, just relax, shoulders down. To go, so again, breathing nice and slow. Last breath. Just slowly come down now. Again, this is probably a good reset position, the crocodile, things like that. Just feels quite natural. All right, guys, next we're going to come into a child's pose. So either knees really close together, Okay, it's going to get more into that back, or more into the lower back, should I say. If you want to get your knees out a little bit wider, that will just help get into your hips a little bit. So again, whatever works for you. Just nice, relaxing pose. This is often I don't want to say counter pose in yin yoga, or in yoga in general, but this is a pose where we normally look to reset. So, nothing too stressful here. About 4 more deep breaths, about 4 more. On your next breath, slowly come back into any position you like, sitting down on your heels, whatever works.